Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Paul. Today we're going to do a pastry personal pizza. Why? It's a little different. I've seen a video on it and they were pretty cool, but I think I can do something a little bit more fun, a little bit better, and a little bit easier. So before we begin, please hit the like, share, subscribe. Please visit us at www.poulskitchen.net, Poul's kitchen.net. And so, first of all, we're going to start off by making our sauce. Why? Because this is one of the first things we have to start cooking. And what we want to do is we want to have this cooked and let it cool down enough that by the time we put this over our sauce, it's going to be ready to go. So, you can make your own sauce if you want. I've got other videos on it. I'm trying to keep it simple, things that I already have laying around the house. So we're going to put some olive oil in this pot. We're going to put a couple spoonfuls of garlic, chopped crushed garlic. We're going to put tomato sauce. We're going to mix in some pizza spice into it. I've got some fennel and I've got some basil. So we're going to pour that liberally in here. We're going to mix it in really good. And once it thickens up enough and it's to the consistency that we like, we're going to take it off the heat. We're going to let it cool down for a little while, and then we're not going to worry about it for a little while. It's not a really long process, but we really do want it to be nice and cool by the time we physically put it onto the pizza crust, which is going to be our pastry crust. Now you're asking what I'm going to use for this. This is from Walmart, and it's butter puff pastry. And we're just going to spread, and we're going to cut that on top of oiled trays. And we'll be back shortly. Welcome back. So, as you can see here, we got the sauce done. We're going to take it right off the heat, and we're just going to let her cool down a little bit. And while we're doing that, we're going to take the time to get our ingredients ready. So I'm going to use some peppers, onion, and some mushrooms. So I'm going to cut that up. And of course I've got cheese and meat, but we don't really need to do a whole lot with that. So take your time and do this. Clean off your mushrooms, of course. Give this about 15-20 minutes to simmer down. And of course, while you're doing that, you want to clean your walls because unfortunately it does splatter. And it's a lot better to make pizza this way anyways, because it's better than the Rogers Special. What's the Rogers Special? You pay for your Rogers today, and you'll be lucky to see it by next week. Haha, yeah, funny joke. Rogers sucks. But making a pizza is really simple and easy, and honestly, after you make it yourself, you kind of question why you spend all the money sending out to buy it. It's not that hard to make. It's really really easy. And you get to choose your ingredients. For the sauce, I just garlic and a few spices. If you wanted to put hot spice in here, you could turn this into an extremely hot sauce if you really wanted to. I do have some good friends. One of my buddies named Quofan, and I'll tell you, between him and Amy, they could have a fight over who could handle the most heat. I really don't know who'd win, and I'd be afraid to be near either of them after, because, yeah. Way too hot for me. But once you're done this, let this cool for about 10-15. Cut down your ingredients. They don't need to be super large. And remember, if you put too much onto your pizza, it tends to it does tend to be really messy. So try to limit to what you put on. These ingredients with the meat is more than enough for me. We'll see how it turns out, and we'll be back when we're ready to start putting the pastry shells on, and then we'll start loading her up. Alright, so I got my pastry shells already in my pans. Now, you can do little tricks and make it all fancy and make your crust like this if you really want to. And make it even fancier. But what we're going to do now, and we want to be careful not to put too much cheese on here. So we're going to load this up with cheese, and then we're going to start putting some sauce on, and then the ingredients. So when I'm done with the cheese, I'm going to come back and I'll show you that. Because, well, you know what, maybe I can actually do this part. I tell you guys, it's really difficult to do this with one person. I'm so used to Amy. So give me a second, I'm going to try to open the cheese up. I thought I actually had it open, but it's being contrary. But the key part here is that we overload too much. Too much cheese is not necessarily always a good thing. It will make it greasy. And a greasy pizza is never a good thing. If you go on YouTube, you can check out a Gordon Ramsay episode of Hell's Kitchen, I think, of Amy's Kitchen. And you can see why she's pretty much a failure from what the show portrays. Too much cheese makes the pizza really greasy. And yes, we all like a lot of cheese. I don't know anybody that can tell you they don't. And I'm just using pizza mozzarella. And that seems like enough for me. Too much cheese really equals too much grease, and that's just a really messy pizza. It's not something anybody's really going to enjoy, believe it or not. We all love cheese, don't get me wrong, but too much is just going to be an issue. So now this is more of a lunch type snack. I mean, I don't know this is going to be the most filling thing in the world, but it will taste good though. So, you know, that to me is enough. So I'm going to bring this over and start scooping some marinara and give it a nice little, topping, and then we'll come back and I'll show you that. Alright, so we're back. So our sauce has been nice and cooled out a little bit. Now, if you have room in the fridge, you can always stick it in a container, put it in the fridge. That will cool it down a little bit faster. We don't. But you can see how I got a nice thin layer of sauce put on top of our crust, on top of the cheese. Now you ask, why would I put cheese underneath the sauce? Well, it'll help give the sauce a little bit more flavor, and it's not necessary to have it on top. I might put a little bit of a sprinkle of cheese on top of the toppings when we're done. We'll see. But now I'm going to put the meat and vegetables, and I'll be back when we're all good to go. Alright, I'm back. So we got some sandwich meat on there, which is ham and salami. I've got some red pepper, mushroom and onion, and then I sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top. Why? Because I have a lot of cheese left over. That's got to be used anyway, so why not? So what we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees, and we're going to bake between 30 to 35 minutes per pizza. Now, I only have a small oven. My other one, it's kind of not working, and our landlord's kind of a little bit of a sleaze, so we just don't have a good working oven. It is what it is, but, I mean, before I go, I'll make it sound like the world's really bad and everything. We actually have the best view. We have the best apartment around because of the breeze that comes in, so I'm actually alright with it. In time, Amy and I might just buy our own fridge and stove, have him remove it, and we'll just have our own. And he'll just have to realize that when we move, the stove and fridge comes with us. Sucks to be him. But that's why we're using a smaller one. So have it preheated. Take one of them in, put them in, leave them for 35 minutes. Now, before we go too much further, when they come out of the oven, they're not ready to eat right away. You have to let them sit and cool off for about 5 to 10 minutes. Otherwise, when you go to cut into this and start making it, or start eating, it's going to be miserable. Again, this is not a dinner pizza, not a real pizza. It's more of a, lunch snack kind of thing. So you're having a party, making a couple of these could be really great. And it's super healthy because, honestly, you have a lot of veggies on here, no sugar added to anything. You control your own sauce and make it yourself. So this is great. So I'm going to throw this in the oven here in a few minutes as it's almost on preheating. And we'll be back with the final product. Welcome back. So we've got our butter pastry puff pizza, personal sized. You know what? You should be able to get 4 pieces on here, 4 pieces on here. It's not really large, but you know what? It's worth it. It's completely what you made, and it's great. I mean, you get to choose what you want on it. Again, I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, cool off, and then I'm going to cut it and put it in some containers so I can eat it when I'm ready to eat it. It's a little bit early in the day, so I mean, I don't really need it right this second. I hope you guys like it. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Again, please hit us up on our website, www.poulskitchen.net, and that's Pouls kitchen.net. Hope to see you next time. Hope you like it. Drop some comments. If you made something similar, let me know and drop something in the comments. Have a great day.